Hey, what's going on, guys? This is JPeeps.
This is the Bug.
This is Jay Cee.
This is Flash.
This is Denny Hendricks.
And you're listening to...
And you're listening to...
And you're listening to...
And you're listening to the Run and Gun Podcast.
What's going on, folks? Welcome to another episode of the Run and Gun Podcast with me, JPeeps.
I'm Jay Cee.
Thank you for joining us today. And Jay Cee, for you today, we got the usual stuff. But I got to jump right into it with the NBA. Last episode of The Last Dance, episode 7 and 8 that we saw Michael Jordan. Well, actually, this part right here was not in The Last Dance. This part was basically a discussion between Horace Grant and Shannon Sharpe on Undisputed. Well, private conversation that wasn't on air. So,
you talking about that plane thing?
Yeah, where Horace Grant basically told Shannon Sharpe that Michael Jordan told a flight attendant Horace couldn't eat because he didn't have a good game.
Yeah, he didn't deserve to eat.
Yeah, I was like, dang, okay. So regarding that, Shannon Sharpe said that, as soon as Fox Studios opens back up and they start allowing us to come in, he said, I want you to be the first guest on Undisputed when we go back to work.
I mean, yeah, he got to provide some kind of context or something. Can't let that just ride.
Yeah, because I want to know more about that story. I want to know who they were playing and everything like that. I need details for that whole story.
Exactly.
Say again?
I said the world must know. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But the other thing that happened, too, is they talked about the 92 finals. This was in episodes 5 and 6. Michael Jordan said Clyde Drexler was nowhere in his league, and he proved it in the 92 finals. Because I guess the big debate in going into the 92 finals was, Clyde Drexler and Michael Jordan, both of them are at the top of their game. And then I guess that kind of like rubbed Michael Jordan the wrong way, and Michael Jordan proceeded to just flat out dominate and just put himself way above Clyde Drexler.
I mean, we know he don't like to really be compared.
That's true. That's very true.
It's not surprising at all.
Episodes 7 and 8, they hit on that very hard. And then the other thing too is that Michael Jordan decided to leave basketball after his father was murdered. If you know the specifics behind that, it is really sad and messed up. Like I'm gonna be real with you. I thought that there was some type of foul play at hand because of the murder and the way that the media had put it out from what I had read. But I don't think that it was any type of foul play at all. I really just think, Anderson pulls over on the side of the road to get some rest, and he's brutally murdered. That's really what I think it was now.
I mean, not to normalize it, but it does happen in our society.
That's true. I agree with you. The media speculated that David Stern suspended him for 18 months because he was gambling. But David Stern and MJ both said that that's complete a BS conspiracy, and that wasn't even the case. And then even to the same time, when Michael Jordan retired, he still left the door open saying that, a return is possible back to basketball. It wasn't like he was just leaving for good. Like he still said it in his interview, but I think a lot of people just chose to ignore that.
So then why did he get suspended?
They're trying to say that he got suspended for 18 months. That's what some people are trying to say.
But why?
Or were saying at the time. Because of his gambling.
So, but they said that, but they tried to deny that he wasn't gambling. So what was he doing that got him 18 months in the box or out the box, whatever?
He didn't even nothing. He left to go play basketball. No, not basketball. He left to go play baseball.
So he wasn't suspended.
He wasn't suspended at all. The media tried to say he was suspended, But even David Stern, before he died, when they recorded his piece, even says Michael didn't have any type of suspension looming over him at all. I wasn't going to suspend him. So I was like, oh, okay.
So what you're saying is, I'm asking the questions, the hard questions that everybody wants to know. So what you're saying is, Michael Jordan does or doesn't have a gambling problem?
I would say like that. This is how he said it. He said he doesn't have a gambling problem, but he's really competitive.
You're not winning me over. A generation of memes is involved in this.
That is true. A generation of memes is involved in this. I'd say the best way to answer it is you would have to have been there to see it. I will say that I think he does have an issue with gambling because he's so competitive. Like he gambled over golf, spades, roulette.
I mean, hold on.
Every casino game imaginable, he probably gambled over it. But I mean,
they don't play spades in casinos, do they?
I don't know if they play spades, but I know they play like roulette.
I was about to say spades is a black game. You only play that at the cookout or the homies' crib or some.
They was playing that in the back of the plane.
Exactly.
Going to Bulls, going to games and stuff.
Exactly.
I mean, like those are the things he was doing. Like he said it himself. He's like, look, I'm competitive. This is why we played cards and stuff. So I was like, okay, makes sense. But I mean, he does somewhat have a gambling problem, but I wouldn't say that that was him getting suspended from basketball.
I said, I'm sure it wasn't. I mean, come on. How many you know the word I'm looking for. How many big ball players gamble? Probably a lot.
Of course.
I mean, you got the money. Hey, some of them feel like they could blow it. Not my decision, but that's theirs. It's their money. So that ain't none of my business.
Exactly. And then you think about it too, Michael Jordan has a $1 million empire with the Jordan brand and Nike, or he's got like 3 big time houses. So I mean, he's got money to blow.
Hey,
and he's still making money.
All I got to say is, if he want to run me in spades, I got $7 for his behind. Let's go.
Okay.
I'm gonna bet. I'll bet my dorm room for his mansion.
And you're gonna end up living on the street.
I'm gonna end up winning. What's up?
Okay.
You ain't never played me in spades. Don't you ever talk about my spades game again.
Okay, you tell him. Michael Jordan, if you're listening, you have an issued challenge in spades by none other than Jay Cee.
Tell him, come on. Tell him I will take all them rings from him.
All right.
Every ring.
All right. All right. Okay, Michael Jordan pushes Scott Burrell. He tried to fight him and even toughen him up in practice.
Tell him I want a piece of the Jordan brand.
You want to? Oh my gosh.
I'm still on this.
Oh my gosh.
I want my
piece. Wow. Okay, even when Jordan had left, Scotty was the team leader. Scotty, a lot of the team members said Scotty was nicer, and he was a nicer leader when Jordan was gone. But the way I look at it, you kind of need the good cop and the bad cop when you have 2 leaders on the team like Scotty and MJ. Like, yeah, things are going to be good because Scotty's nicer, but you still need that you need the bad cop. You need the tough guy in there.
I mean, I kind of feel it, but that's not always the case.
True. But in the case of the Bulls, they needed it. Because if you look at this and the way it looked like the second year, like the year after Jordan, like I want to say, I believe it was 95. Like early in the 95 season.
Yeah.
It was kind of bad. Because I mean, like here's the thing, like the year Jordan left, 94. The triangle offense was perfect, maybe even better. Phil Jackson did his best coaching. Tony Kukoc had developed and become a very effective player on offense, but not so much on defense.
I mean,
And then,
but you can't just put it from the leadership standpoint. You just lost one of the greatest basketball players
of all time, yeah.
Like, I mean,
Yeah.
you can't just put it on a leadership standpoint. You also just lost an extremely major talent that there is no way of replacing.
Yes, that's true.
You can supplement, yes, but there's no way of replacing a Michael Jordan. Hell, there's almost no way of replacing a Scottie Pippen.
I fully agree. And that's why when Michael Jordan came back, and he said this in the documentary, he pushed the whole team to win. That's why guys like Scottie Pippen, Judd Bushler, and Bill Wennington, they all said that they were afraid of him. But they said that they needed his energy and his fire in order for them to win. And then even Michael Jordan says it too. He says, you know, people are going to look at this whole documentary and say, you know, oh my gosh, Michael Jordan was a tyrant. But he said the only people that would really say that are the people that have never won anything in their lives. But,
I mean,
you know, I fully agree with that statement.
Hold up. Whoa. He is a tyrant. Don't get me wrong. But he's a tyrant by necessity because his teammates can't motivate themselves.
Yeah, I see where you're going with that.
I mean, no, just think about what you just said. You just said that they said they needed that fire and that energy. Why are you not producing your own fire and energy? You don't want to win that bad?
They did. I think that they just didn't have that it factor to get them over the hump. Because mind you, they made it to the semifinals without him. And then got bounced by Orlando. And then a year later in 95, they made it back to the Eastern Conference Finals and got beat by Orlando in 6. So, I mean, they were motivated to win.
I don't know.
But
not from the quote that you just put to me. But I rest my case. I'll let America decide.
I'll say this. You have to watch it in order to hear it from them to really kind of see it. Like, because seeing and hearing are two different things in this case.
That argument is void because that is exactly what they said, correct?
Correct.
Exactly. That's how they said it, right?
Well, I'll say it like this. Judd Bushler said that they were afraid of him. Bill Wennington said they were afraid of him. Scottie Pippen said that he had that it factor that they needed to help them get over the hump. Because, like I said, mind you, they got to the Eastern Conference semifinals.
So one
without him
out of all them is basing it on his talent factor. The rest are basically saying that the motivation was not there until he was there to scare them.
Yeah, to an extent, yeah.
I mean, that sounds like a major problem right there.
Part of me agrees with you, but part of me doesn't. Because my thing is like, look, you're still winning when he's gone, but you need him to get over the edge. And there's two sides to it for me.
That's not winning. Getting bounced out in the finals, that's not in the Eastern Conference Finals is not winning.
It's not. You're right. It's being competitive, but it's not winning.
I rest my case. Get me out of here.
All right. The 1995 MLB player strike had kind of opened the window for Michael Jordan to come back. The Bulls had slipped into darkness, and they also had lost Horace Grant to Orlando. At that point, Michael Jordan comes back. Nick Anderson in the Eastern Conference Finals in 95 says that 45 is not 23, and Michael Jordan immediately comes back in Game 2 and goes off to have an amazing night. And also at the same time switches to number 23. They lose the series in 6, but Michael was back, but he wasn't in shape.
I mean, I can understand that. It's a different type of shape when you switching games.
Yeah, that's true. He was saying that. He was saying that his body was more so in baseball shape, and that he he didn't have the stamina to play, half of a season of basketball like he normally did. So he said that he spent the entire time after losing to Orlando plotting to get his revenge on Orlando in 96. And he did it. And he got right in shape at the same time and filmed Space Jam at the same time too.
I mean, yeah, it's a different game. It's different from just running bases. Granted, that's a lot. Don't get me wrong. From just running bases.
Yeah, that's true. The mental aspect of baseball is
them running up and down a court for an hour.
Yeah, basically an hour and a half.
I mean, it's different, especially for how long is the season?
It's let's see, 82 games.
82
plus
games.
The postseason. Plus the postseason.
So, I mean, it's just a different build. It's a different type of game. I mean, granted, I'm not saying that baseball players, they don't get stamina depreciated because they don't do anything. No, it's a different feel.
Yeah, I know what you mean for sure.
America knows what I mean.
Yeah. Also, too, they talked about how the Bulls went 72-10 in 96, and how I believe the Bulls were 80. They had won a total of 83 games, if you include the postseason. I think it was like 83, 84 games, and that made me think about something. That had me thinking about the Warriors, because I was like, you know what? Hey, I'll take 72-10 over 73-9. Because I believe, like, if you include the playoffs and stuff, the 96 Bulls winning percentage is greater than the Warriors winning percentage from 2017. Or no, wasn't it? Was it 2017 or 2019? Or no, 27. Yeah, it was like 2018, wasn't it?
I do not recall. But to me, it doesn't matter about the winning percentage because you didn't get the ring in the end.
That's true. That is so true. And see, here's my thing now. Speaking of the Warriors, now that this whole virus has kind of shut down everything, I think that the virus is probably the best thing to ever happen to the Warriors, because now you have a chance to fully shut down and focus on getting your star players healthy. Because my thing is, like, now Steph can get fully healthy. Klay Thompson can get fully healthy. Don't got to worry about playing for Team USA in any Olympics. Draymond Green can get healthy. You can work on adding depth to your team for what you have to do for 2021. And at the same time, too, if you can, maybe add another piece. Because my thing is, I'm just like, look, if they can get it rolling again, they're going to be good again. It's not like they've been.
I think it hurts.
Say, wait, what?
Go ahead, continue.
I was going to say, it's not like they've been decimated, like the whole team's been just blown up. They still have, like, the three core pieces. So, I mean, I wouldn't say it's completely over. I think there's still going to be a threat, but they won't be as sorry as they were when Kevin Durant left and Klay Thompson got hurt and Steph Curry was lost and Draymond was lost. But I think they'll bounce back.
I mean, yeah, but I think everybody knows that. I think the most harm being done that not everybody notices is Milwaukee.
Yeah. Because oh my gosh, they're good.
This was Milwaukee's year. Most of the top contenders are rebounding because they're hurt or star players are hurt. Milwaukee is healthy. Milwaukee is dominating. Milwaukee looks clean. This was their year to win one, possibly get more free agents, and also to re-sign Giannis.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Because I really thought, I thought Milwaukee was the better team last year.
I mean, I think they're better this year, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But the fact that if this season continues the way it's going, right, and then other players start coming back because now all of a sudden they're healthy because they've been sitting around the crib doing nothing, and then you have Milwaukee who's no longer hot or can no longer be considered hot because they done stopped playing games. This hurts. This no longer looks like their year.
That's true. Because I'm gonna be real with you. if we hadn't had a stoppage in sports and like everything had still kept going and we'd have got the finals and the playoffs on time and everything, I would have picked Milwaukee to win the whole thing.
Exactly.
I would have had Milwaukee.
And now with this, and I don't know, are they still in talks about continuing the season? I don't know what the talks are.
I mean, I've heard a couple of things. I've heard moving the season, moving some of the games, and having the playoffs at Disney's Wild World of Sports. I've heard a couple of things regarding that. I've heard, but I mean, there's more stuff I've heard regarding baseball, but we'll get to that in a second.
I mean, if they come back or if it's postponed, regardless, if they don't win with the team they have now, I don't think Giannis resigns.
Whoa, where would he go?
Somewhere where he thinks he can win. I think he wants to sign with his brothers. I know one brother's in Milwaukee with him.
Right.
But the other one, I believe he's in L.A.
So he's just going to go to L.A. too?
I don't know. Wait, hold up. This is not Giannis to L.A. skepticism. I'm just saying.
I was going to say, because I was
somebody might sweet talk and be like, listen, we got most of the team. We just need you, and we'll work out something for your brothers. Hey, may work. Who knows?
That'd be the craziest thing if he ends up in L.A. I just feel like it's not fair for the rest of the league.
All I'm going to say is, you know who's a real good sweet talker?
LeBron.
Pat Riley.
In Miami? Yeah.
He's a real good sweet talker.
That's
all I'm going to say.
Just now, before you said that, that was in the back of my mind.
He can make you think about some things. Pat Riley could talk me into jumping off a bridge for a ring.
Oh, whoa, hold on now.
I mean, obviously with a parachute or a bungee cord, man, slow down.
I'm going to be honest.
I want to live because I got to hold the ring in my hand.
I would like to see Giannis down in Miami. That would make me personally happy.
I'm just saying, man, you know.
Giannis, Jimmy Butler together in Miami? Oh, that would be fun.
We still got to get there. But
that's true.
I'm just saying.
That's true.
If they don't win, I don't think he's coming back. Because what's there to come back to?
I feel that.
Granted, I believe small markets have a chance. I personally, I like Milwaukee. Don't get me wrong. I ain't never been to Milwaukee. Granted, I don't know the scene in Milwaukee. But Milwaukee seems like a nice franchise.
It is. But I know the scene down in Miami, too. And it's very lively and it's nice.
Larger markets, more stuff to do. Florida weather that's 50-50 all the time, but at least it doesn't snow.
Very true. See, look, watch us check back on this in about a year. And next thing you know, Giannis is signing with the Miami Heat. And be like,
even if it's just he's entertaining other deals and thinking about leaving, I'm going to come back to this and be like, I was right. They ain't win not a goddamn thing. And now Giannis is leaving. I'm going to come in with the Stephen Day on y'all. Watch.
Okay. But let's transition into baseball right now. More Michael Jordan stuff because, you know, as we saw in that episode of The Last Dance, he went to the White Sox farm system. If Michael Jordan had dedicated himself, he might have played in the major leagues. What do you think about that?
I mean, I guess.
I mean, because they said he hit at 202 after he had discovered, you know, after he had dedicated his time to multiple sessions of batting practice. Because they said as soon as he stepped in, he was hitting fastballs left and right easily. But they said once they introduced breaking ball pitches to him, he couldn't hit it. But they said after he continuously practiced, he was hitting at 202. But they said if he had just dedicated himself a little bit more, he probably would have got a call to move up to the White Sox.
Yeah, call, but I mean, like he wouldn't have been that good.
He wouldn't have. ESPN.
I mean, he would have just been another player. Like, yeah, cool. I was in the MLB. Yeah, I played some games and stuff. I mean, but like,
it wouldn't have.
He would have just been another player. He wouldn't.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have been the basketball icon that we know him as now. He would have just been some baseball player.
That's true. I mean, I'm gonna be real with you. It wouldn't have been like a Deion Sanders or a Bo Jackson type situation where he was a two-sport athlete doing it just cause.
Yeah, like they were doing it the whole time, like, you know, perfecting their crafts and doing amazing stuff.
That's true, because even
jumped into baseball.
Even still, like everybody says to this day, well, you know, what if Deion had committed full time to baseball? Does he probably gets in the Hall of Fame? What if Bo Jackson had Bo Jackson had committed full time to baseball? He probably gets in the Hall of Fame, probably wins himself a World Series.
Exactly. What if Michael Jordan fully dedicated himself to baseball? I mean, he might have got lucky.
Yeah, he would have ended up on an MLB roster, I think, but not a World Series and not a Hall of Fame career.
Well, he might have got lucky and been on a team that won the World Series, but I don't think he's going to be a big part to the win.
That's true. That's true. But also, too, Major League Baseball has shortened their draft from 40 rounds to 5 rounds. I think this is due in part because a lot of prospects are coming back to school because the NCAA granted a lot of seniors who missed their senior year of baseball another year of eligibility. So really it's going to be 5 rounds this year in the MLB draft.
I mean, it's understandable.
Yeah.
I mean, the NCAA is doing the right thing because most of those kids either didn't get to play or played very, very little.
Yeah. Yeah. Owners are okay with the season proposal where the season will begin around July 4th without fans. Look, I'm fully okay with that myself. Not too many people turn out for a baseball game as is during the regular season.
I was about to say baseball fans. What's the word I'm looking for? In-person fan arrival is kind of low anyway. So, I mean, not to say it doesn't matter because, yeah, there are still teams, you know, getting a lot of people out there, and it still makes a difference. But I feel like it's not really as much of a difference as many other games.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll say this.
You don't.
Go ahead.
You don't really see the type of involvement that you see in like football or basketball.
Yeah.
Of the fans.
Yeah, because I mean, think about it, the biggest crowds you're going to see in Major League Baseball is opening day, 4th of July, postseason, and then even you have the Father's Day, Mother's Day crowds, which are not as packed as opening day and 4th of July and postseason, but it's still pretty packed.
Yeah.
But I mean that's really like the brunt of it. So I mean I'm okay with this. I can do baseball without fans. I mean, heck, we played Little League baseball and we didn't have that many people watching except our parents.
Exactly. I mean, you know, like I was saying, fans don't impact the game like it does in other sports.
True. Hate to say it like that, but true.
Especially football.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, you know, you like you hear with Seattle, 12th man, right? They can't get their calls off because they can't hear each other. Like
that's true.
Like, I mean, you don't really see that I don't want to say involvement because involvement is a bad word. But you don't see that impact.
I would swing when I'm at a neutral site football game. Like I've been to the Florida Classic. I've been to the Outback Bowl. I've been to neutral site kickoff classic games. You don't feel the momentum shift in baseball like you feel the momentum shift in those games where there's like a neutral site between like two sides of a stadium. So I know what you mean. Yeah. So it makes a lot of sense. It makes a whole lot of sense. But also 60 of 5,754 people in a study of Major League Baseball's employee population tested positive for coronavirus antibodies, a rate lower than what similar studies run in California found. Dr. Jay Bhattacharya says that she said, I was expecting a larger number, but that wasn't the case. Only 60 out of 5,754 people.
What do you mean by antibodies?
They had tested positive for coronavirus antibodies. So I guess I'm saying like they had like in their blood the antibodies needed to fight the virus, you could say.
I was just checking because I was like, it's been a while since I've been in anatomy class. So,
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot you're not. I gotta hook you up with all that. But yeah, like basically saying like the people that have the antibodies, the people that have like the things that can fight off this are the ones that they tested positive. So I mean, the rate was lower, which kind of when I first saw that number. Like when I first read like the first line the first time, I thought to myself, I was like, that's how many people tested positive for the virus. But then I really thought about it when it said antibodies, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you have to explain antibodies to the American public because a lot of them do not understand what an antibody is.
That's true. So yeah, antibodies are just what's gonna help fight it off. That's just what they found in their blood. So that means they're basically gonna use the plasma from these people. But a revealed prevalence of COVID-19 antibodies in MLB employees in the MLB employee population of 0.7%. 26 of the 30 teams participated in the study.
Why is that? What were the other 4 teams like no for?
I really couldn't even tell you. I think they just probably selected 26. They probably. I think is they probably selected the 26 teams with like the most personnel that work for them. Like they probably selected the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Giants, the Texas Rangers, the Washington Nationals. They probably definitely went to the big time cities. They probably went to like the most storied franchises, and then after the most storied franchises probably came. Okay, well, let's see which franchises have like they play in the biggest markets and stuff. That's what they probably did.
I don't know if you're going to do that many.
Yeah, why not do it?
My thought would be that you're going to do the whole thing. So, which leads me to believe that somebody in there said no. Or a few people in there said no.
Yeah.
So, that's why I asked.
That's true. But on to the NFL. The NFL is following a protocol that will open training camps in July. The one exception to that will be physicals for rookies and undrafted free agents. As travel restrictions begin lifting across the country, most teams are expected to bring in first-year players for comprehensive physicals.
I can understand that. I mean, you have to, because you're introducing someone new from somewhere else into I don't want to say fully controlled environment, but an environment that's already been probably tested.
Yeah, I would agree with that. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell sent a memo to notify teams of protocols required to be in place by May 15th before practice facilities open. So according to someone close to the league discussions, the NFL recently insured players in a recent letter to agents. They will not be separated from their families during the season. It is said that teams will not place players in hotels during the entire season to lower the risk of infections either. So basically, these guys are going to be allowed to go home to their families and be with their loved ones. But, my thing is during training camp, it's going to strictly be, you go to the facility, you go to the hotel, you go back to the facility. But, of course, I mean, they do that every year.
I don't think they're going to do that. I think it's going to be more so like a job, pretty much, like a job that doesn't want to pay for your trips anymore. So you have to take the trip, get back, do what you're doing, and then get back on the late flight. Like I don't think they're gonna.
For training camp?
with training camp too, I think they're just going to come into the facility, do what you're doing. If you want to stay later, you can. But other than that,
that's what I mean. That's what they do every year for training camp. Because every year during training camp, these guys, they leave their families and they stay at a team hotel, or because that's what the Cowboys do every year. The Cowboys go to Oxnard, California, and they stay at a facility.
Oh no, I'm saying I don't think they're going to do hotels. I think they're going to probably try and keep it in house.
Oh, you mean like that? Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
Yeah, because you have to limit the places that you go, the amount of people that you could possibly end up running into.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're gonna do that. I think they're gonna handle it inside, and they're gonna be like, okay, cool. You come into the facility. I don't know. Hit the 9 to 5 that we got planned. If you want to stay later, you can. You want to come earlier, you can. But other than that, go home. Go away.
Yeah, I see what you mean now. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. This is going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Because, I mean, my thing is I'm already expecting training camp to not be open to the public. A lot of people, I don't think, realize that yet. Some probably do. Some probably don't. No. But I'm not expecting training camp anywhere in this country to be open to anybody outside.
No way. Like, what are they going to do? Stand 6 feet apart from each other on the sideline? Like, you can't sit.
Exactly. Because my thing, that's my thing. That's my thing. Because, fans want autographs. Fans always want autographs at the end of every practice. And they will stand there forever to get it. That ain't going to happen.
No. Absolutely.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way. I'm sorry. Hate to say that. There's going to be a lot of upset folks about that, but it's just the reality of it. But
upset about what? Trying to keep the players safe, and hell, even keep you safe.
Exactly.
I mean, because you see in Korea, South Korea, what they talking about with the dude confirmed got COVID-19 and went to clubs.
Oh my gosh, what a it! Oh.
So,
yeah.
I mean, like, come on. Obviously, common sense doesn't obviously reign in everyone, so they're going to keep it as tight as they possibly can until it is completely unnecessary.
It is true.
And has been proven unnecessary.
Very true. Very, very true. Also, too, Goodell told teams that fans will be able to get refunds if the games are canceled or held in empty stadiums. So at least it's good to know I'm going to get my money back.
Oh, you are? Let me hold it out.
Yeah. Ha.
Consider that as part of my contract, baby.
Bet. Let me get back to you on that. Onto the FAMU news. I don't know if you saw it on Instagram, but FAMU has set up this Rattler Athletic Fund, which will begin a project to renovate their field house. Did you see that?
Oh, I saw the post on it. I didn't want to say nothing because they be getting a little wily on Twitter when they hear that. So that ain't none of my business. They be getting a little wily there. They be talking about, okay, well, what about the classrooms? I don't know if you remember we had that tweet that blew up and everybody was talking about that.
Yeah, I remember that. That's true. I think that's kind of died down a little bit because now the team is winning. Because mind you, that was back in like 2016, 2017. I remember that like it was yesterday. That tweet blew up and I didn't even know that tweet went out. And everyone was just like, yeah, this is a good idea. Some people were like, no, this is a terrible idea. They don't win any games. And then some people were like, I wanted my education to mean more. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is like a mixed review of everything. But I mean, I think now that the university has a winning product on the field, I think everybody feels good about it. And I mean, I feel good about it too. I mean, because my thing is like, look, part of building your university is the success of your football team. You don't believe me? Look at the University of Miami. Look at Florida State. Look at Alabama.
I mean,
part of it.
Yes, but your I feel like you're looking too far ahead there, champ. Like, I mean, you are first and foremost a school.
That's true. Of course.
You are first and foremost a school, so it is your job to put money into the school.
Yes.
Students should not be talking about how roofs collapsing and stuff like that, and leaks, and they don't even have microscopes in biology. Like, you know, like that type of commentary should not be there.
I would agree. That shouldn't.
I mean, you got to deal with that first. In my
this renovation is going to include. It begins this summer. They're going to have like an updated and expanded weight room and an updated and expanded training room. But the campaign runs through August 1st, 2020. It's going to include also a nutrition station, an updated and expanded equipment room, an expanded locker room, an expanded like football room that's going to like show off the trophies and stuff. The hallway's going to like have graphics up that's going to resemble the history of FAMU's football program, and then also 2 updated lighting and security, and also 2 updated and expanded coaches' offices. So I mean that's everything that's going to go into this. Like all the donations from alumni, that's what's going to go into this. So if you text FAMU RAF to 41444, you can donate your money. But there's also other ways you can donate too, by going to FAMU's athletic page, or even going in through Twitter or Facebook or Instagram. There's multiple ways to donate money.
Gave up the whole text. Are they paying us?
No, they're not.
You just gave up the whole text thing. They ain't even dropping a dime on us. FAMU, where our money at? I
didn't say that. You said that.
We need to go into some contract negotiations.
You're trying to negotiate contracts with everybody. You're trying to negotiate with ESPN. You're trying to negotiate with FAMU. With who's next? CNN, Fox News. Who else you going after?
If they quote me, they better start dropping dimes. If they quote me,
okay. Hey.
Don't mess up. If I hear you say some words that I know I definitely said, yeah, you and me, we gonna have to have a conversation about copyright. How many dimes you owe.
Wow.
Hey, man, business ain't got no friends.
That's true. There's one other thing I want to hit on before we go on to like the NCAA and what was said and what's been happening. I think but FAMU has 3 home games this year, and a lot of people are upset about this because it's only 3 home games, but they need to realize the past 2 years, in 2018 and in 2019, FAMU had 6 home games total each year. And now they have 3. And I'm just looking at this and I'm like, look, this comes as a result of having 6 home games the past 2 years. And it's not like you only are set to just 3 home games and brag. It's not like you don't have 2 neutral site games in Florida plus another road game in Florida against UCF. So I'm like, that's still 6 opportunities within the state to see your team play. One of them, you're going to be a complete stranger in that stadium.
I mean, I feel that.
Yeah, I hear you. But yeah, I mean, my thing, I'm just like, look, it's like, dude, it's not a bad thing. You're still, some people are very upset by it. My thing is, I'm just like, look, you got to embrace the road warrior mentality.
I mean, I guess, but how many games do they play?
11.
Oh, so over half is the home game.
Basically.
Oh, what's so wrong about that?
Exactly my point. You still play 6 games in the state of Florida. You only leave the state, 5 times? You only leave the state 5 times. And most of these trips aren't far. The furthest you have to go is Dover, Delaware. That's the farthest they have to go. The next farthest game is, I believe, not even Norfolk, Virginia. It's the next furthest game, I believe, is Washington, D.C. Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
But as I digress, on to the NCAA stuff.
Continue on, Jay would like to eat.
NCAA President Mark Emmert says there will be no fall sports unless campuses are open to all students. So campuses across the country have to be open in order for there to be sports this year. So basically saying, I agree with you there. I agree. I agree with that statement. Because you had schools like Alabama, Texas A&M already said. Jimbo Fisher already came out and said we're playing football this year. Arkansas already said it too. Arkansas said kids will be back on campus in July.
That's not your choice, Jimbo. I know you feel like it is because you make a ton of money, but that ain't your choice, boyo.
Arkansas said they're gonna have kids on campus starting in July. Harvard said that they have to have class in person, so they said they're opening back up in the fall. But I mean, we talked about this.
Why can't I have that Harvard feel? I want to have class in person. Come on,
look,
man.
we talked about this I think a podcast or two ago. There's a way you can do this and still have kids back on campus.
Yeah, it takes a lot of planning. It's almost like playing a railway board.
They can do it.
Just a lot of numbers, a lot of people moving.
And they can do it.
I mean,
it is doable.
It's doable.
Look,
you just have to.
Oh, go ahead.
Hold on, man. Hold up. Let me talk, man.
Go ahead.
Hey,
My bad.
Doing me like that lady from First Take. Doing me like Molly. Come on, man. Let me talk.
Go ahead.
I think the most important thing is that you have to limit clubs and things like that. Things that keep people on campus for a long amount of time. You have to definitely limit that because you can't have that if you're gonna do it. Not to say disband clubs, but tell them to join it. Tell them to go show up somewhere at their own risk or something. I don't know.
That's it right there. Show up at your own risk. Probably do them off campus.
Exactly.
The other thing, too, is the Oregon governor said that they can't have sports in the month of September. I don't know why they just limited it to September. But that brings up a lot of interesting things for the University of Oregon this season because the Ducks have Ohio State and North Dakota State coming to Eugene, Oregon this year for games, and both of them are in September.
Yeah, he trying to do what's best for the state. I mean, he or she, no matter whoever they are, trying to do what's best for the state. I mean, hey, you gotta appreciate the at least decisiveness of it.
I agree with you. Because my thing was, and a lot of people have been saying it, move that game between them and Ohio State to Columbus. Some people have said move Ohio State to the Fargo Dome.
Yeah, I feel like it.
Which one, the Ohio State game or the North Dakota State game?
The Ohio State game.
I would not be opposed to that either. That would be interesting. Have them meet halfway. Have them maybe play in the Vikings Stadium.
And I would probably shade them more towards Oregon, where Oregon is, because
the next closest stadium in that case probably would be the Broncos Stadium in Denver, the Mile High.
Yeah, I don't know. Send them to Denver or something.
Yeah, something like that. That would probably be the next best thing, I think. And unless you go to Santa Clara, home of the Pac-12 championship.
I mean, it doesn't matter, but just because you have to at least give them some type of consideration because it is their home game, and in college that makes a world of difference. That's true. So you do have to give them some type of consideration.
I fully agree with you there. But now
the bug is coming. The bug is coming.
Trivia with the bug.
Oh snap! He got a good behind question too.
Hello everybody, this is the bug. I'm back. My trivia today is how many American League MVP awards did Yogi Berra win and the years that he won those MVP awards? Thank you.
And there it is, folks. That's the trivia question from the bug.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know the answer.
So you got to go on Google and look it up then.
don't tell him I am, but
Okay.
I will. Most definitely. Me and
You know he's
Google,
going to
we don't have
demand
a
an
good
answer
thing
from
going
you on the next episode, right?
I know.
Okay, as long as you know.
I know. I'll be
Okay.
answering his questions.
I
Come
feel
on
you.
now.
I feel
Give me
that.
credit.
Okay.
Give me credit.
But you know,
Like Bo Jackson. Come on now. You know I got numbers. Come on.
that means now you gotta personally let him know that you've answered these questions because he's always asking who answered my questions.
See, you forget. You forget, man. I be on that joint. I'm a history major. I remember dates and numbers. Easy.
Okay. I'm with you.
Now, if you ask me to count something, that's different. That's different. They say history majors
Stop.
can't do no math.
Don't
Boy, I'm trying to
don't
tell
degrade
you. Somebody
yourself
was
like
asking me
that.
a fraction. Somebody was asking me a fraction. I was like 3/5. They was like, no, it's a whole number and a fraction. I was like, what? The heck? I ain't seen that since high school. That still exists?
Huh. But that's gonna do it for us, folks. I'm JPeeps.
I'm Jay Cee, still looking for that contract.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Run and Gun Podcast. If you have not already, follow us on Instagram,
Twitter.
follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Penalty Talk. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Comment on the videos underneath.
Look on Spotify for us. Come on, because we got more podcasts coming. We got mo. You know what I'm talking about. Mo of
Exactly.
everything. Dang it. Heck, we might start dropping
For real.
skits on YouTube. Who knows?
So true. Make sure y'all stay safe. If you are venturing outside of your house during this period when things are opening up, please stay safe. Wear your mask. Do what you must.
Yeah.
But yeah, y'all stay safe. Take care. We will see you guys on the next episode. Stay blessed.